Good morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my writer's life. This is Alicia Anabel Santos. I am your host. I am your writing midwife. And today, my diary is about who do you write for? Who are you writing for? Who is your audience? Who do you bring into the room, into the space, into your creative process? Who are the voices that you allow in? As a writing coach, a writing teacher, the writing midwife, I have worked with hundreds of women, hundreds of writers, and many of those writers have talked about how what keeps them from writing is very connected to lo que dirán, what others would say. Family, friends. So there's the voices of the naysayers in our lives who want to censor and control what we're creating. You know, that the fears are very real. Like, will they hate us if we share this story? These people cannot be in our writer's room. These people are not who we're writing for. So I think it's important for us to really know who we're bringing into our writing space. One of the things I learned early on was something that it just confirmed it in a book that I read by Dani Shapiro, Still Writing. She says, there's a line, writing for the audience of one. When I first started writing, I wrote for me. The intention was always to write and gift it to my daughter, but I was writing for me. I wasn't writing for anyone else. I wasn't writing for the white gaze. I wasn't writing for, the literary canon. I wasn't writing for publication. I wasn't writing with any of that in my mind. I wasn't writing, to save the world. I was writing to write myself into existence. I was writing to free myself of some things. And I was writing to find my voice. I didn't know that then. I know that now. Because one of the things that, one of the questions that I ask at the beginning of all of my Writing from the Womb workshops, who are you writing for? On a broader level, I'm writing for Black and brown girls who do not see themselves reflected in books. I'm writing for the little girls like me from Brooklyn who never see stories written about them, never see them find themselves in these pages that we're reading in school when we're just giving white literature. I'm writing for them. But truly, that's the hope and intention. The hope and intention is as it goes out into mainstream that little girls and little boys, people of color, will see themselves, queer kids, trans kids, the marginalized communities, see ourselves in the pages, in the lines that I'm writing. But who I'm bringing into my room cannot be all of them. Because the moment, and I've done this, when I was working on the Afro Latinos documentary, I felt the weight of the estimated 150 million Afro-descendants throughout Latin America whose stories were not being told. And I felt this responsibility of getting it right. And so as a journalist, like with the fact-checking and the researching and the writing, there was a lot of pressure to make sure that I didn't fuck it up, that I was authentic, that I was honest, that I wasn't biased. As I was writing about 21 countries throughout Latin America, all of which will have something to say about my writing and maybe something that I didn't include because everybody has a fucking opinion, and rather than do the work themselves, they'll tell you what you could have done. That's me being shady right now. But the truth is that that's what people do. You do all of this great work, but people will point out the shit that you don't do. So I bring that up to say, if I'm bringing all these people into the room, I'm never going to write anything. I'm never going to create anything. I'm never going to please everyone. And that's okay. So today I wanted to just say that. I wanted to just invite you to bring yourself into your writer's room. Bring you. Bring your heart. Bring your soul. Bring your openness. Bring your love into your writing room. Yes, at some point we'll be thinking about the audience. I think that we can think about that once we have a draft written. Once we've written the book. It cannot be as we're developing characters or building worlds or in the beginning stages of creating work. Because if we did that, if we were worrying about the end result the first day we sit down with a pen, we're never gonna fucking create anything. And that's not what we're doing, family. It's not. Not if we want to create content, not if we want to have works of art. Like, I think about myself as a writer, I consider myself an artist. And so I know that what I am leaving right now is art. Like, even with this diary, I'm creating work that's going to outlive me, that will live on YouTube, that my grandchildren will look at and look at my crazy grandmother, the writer, you know? And so this, to me right here, this conversation between you and I, is me creating art. It's reminding myself of who I need to bring into the room when I sit down to write my novel, my memoirs, my essays, myself, my whole self. Silencing all of those voices, some of them who mean well, some of them who are just intruders. They gotta go. They can't sit with me in my space. And so, with that, here are some prompts. I write for. This could be anyone and everyone. I write for when I silence the voices, what I know to be true is. When I silence the voices, what I know to be true is. When I sit down to create, I discover that. When I sit down to create, I discover that. You can pause this meditation at any moment, right? And just write freely from a stream of consciousness. My intention for today is to write at least one page. One page. Family, I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Peace.